Good morning. Today is a very exciting day for Louisville as we announce our plans for an expanded 2023 Juneteenth Jubilee celebration. This year's theme is Our Story, America's Glory. This theme is really a call to action for all of us to learn and reflect on this pivotal moment in our nation's history. This theme was chosen by our 16-member Juneteenth Jubilee Commission, who've done an outstanding job, and I'm thrilled that many of them are with us here today. This commission includes representatives from Metro Council, the business community, the arts, educational institutions, media, and many others. Thank you all very much for all of your work. I deeply appreciate your partnership and your thoughtful work organizing this special lineup of events. Plans for this year's celebration range from showcasing the arts, to Negro Baseball League, to meaningful conversations about race, equity, and inclusion. We start on Saturday, June 10th, and events continue all the way through Monday, June 19th. I want to invite everyone from all across the city to participate in as many events as your calendar will allow. Juneteenth is a holiday for all of us to celebrate because it's about freedom and justice, which we still struggle to provide for everyone in our city and everyone in our country. Everyone needs to know the story of Juneteenth, which is observed every year on June 19th and traces its roots to Galveston, Texas in 1865. That's when Union soldiers arrived to notify residents that slavery had been abolished in the Confederate States and to enforce the end of slavery nearly 2 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. That day was called Freedom Day. And although Juneteenth has a painful history, it's so important to celebrate the strength and resilience Juneteenth represents, as well as the progress we have made and as we work urgently to make even more progress. That work includes providing more opportunities for Black entrepreneurs, supporting Black businesses, providing access to healthcare, affordable housing, and education, eliminating food deserts, and calling out racism where we see it so we can all move forward. And this is especially important today because we're seeing so many states push to erase Black history, which is American history, from their schools and their libraries. Since 2021, more than 44 states have aggressively moved towards restricting or censoring the ways in which race can be discussed in classrooms. In Louisville, we're not afraid of Black history. We celebrate Black history because it's our history. That's right. And to the people who are afraid to talk about Black history, all I have to say is, I think you have to have more faith in our country. America is strong enough, and Louisville is strong enough to have honest conversations about Black history, real history, and those conversations will make all of us stronger. That's why Juneteenth is so important, because it represents our story, America's glory, and truly celebrates freedom. So again, thank you to our Juneteenth Jubilee Commission, our community partners, and everyone in Metro government team for making this celebration possible. Now, I'd like to welcome the chair of the Juneteenth Jubilee Commission, Wanda Mitchell-Smith, who will provide more details about the official celebration. Wanda?
Thank you, Mayor Greenberg. Good morning to everyone here. Want to not only provide you with what we are looking to do for Juneteenth, but I want to give you a little bit more about what the commission is about and our mission statement. And our mission statement is just this: to recognize and to honor Black heritage and achievements. When you go out here and you go to a stoplight, know that it was a Black man that invented that stoplight. When you go into a hospital and you need to receive blood, know that it was a Black man who did the blood plasma so that you could be able to receive that. It is very important for us to share and to pass on our heritage, not just with some, but with all. To continue with our statement, it is to enhance economic and cultural development of our Black community through a celebration of Juneteenth holiday. So as we approach the holiday, I want to be able to share with you all of the events that this commission has decided to support and have been working towards all of these endeavors. We have a complete full week, if not a week and a half, beginning on June the 10th at 7 p.m. Yes, we have voices in the opera, and we are going to let our voices be amplified with the songs of justice through Kentucky Opera. And what's so special about this particular performance is that one of our own commissioners, Councilwoman Paula McCraney, wrote the lyrics of all the music that is going to be performed for this, so don't miss it. On June the 11th at 5 p.m., our first excursion on the Belle of Louisville. And yes, we like jazz. We love jazz. So we're going to be boarding at 5 p.m. Not only jazz, but we have a history of sports. And Simmons College of Kentucky Golf Classic at Lake Forest Country Club will be held on June the 12th at 7:30 a.m. We can't forget who brought us to this day. And we want to thank the Waterfront Development Corporation for always remembering what Juneteenth is about. So there is going to be an arts camp at the Waterfront, visual arts, and to host the camp for ages 7 through 12. On June the 13th, we're going to have Juneteenth with the Louisville Bats. How about that? And then on June 14th is our Lean Into Louisville luncheon at the Palm Room, the historic Palm Room. And we chose that area because of the history that it has for our community. On June the 16th is our Agape Day, agape meaning love. And we partner with Dare to Care being the food bank. One of the things that we do is that we know how to show love, and we show it through our food. So we are going to be giving out food to the community. And on June the 16th at 6 p.m. is our second annual gala at the Ali Center. On June the 17th is our sports jamboree at historic Newburgh Park. On June the 17th, the Fannie Lou Hamer story right here at Kentucky African American Heritage Center. Father's Day, we can't forget you men out there, so we're going to continue here in this spot with a Father's Day brunch at 2 p.m. And on June the 19th, we're going to close our celebration out with, at 6 p.m., Let's Talk. Let's talk, because we do need to talk about the United States Colored Troops and an evening with former Kentucky Poet Laureate Frank X. Walker at the Frazier Museum. So as you can see, these commissioners have been hard at work on developing all of these events that we hope and pray that the community will enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wanda, to you and all the commissioners for all of your amazing work. That is such a impressive and exciting program with lots of things for everything to do, for families to do, for people of all ages to enjoy, to have fun, to get out around the community, to also learn a lot and to celebrate. Next up, we will hear from the opera writer herself and Metro Councilwoman Paula McCraney, who's going to share more about the history of Juneteenth, its importance in our city, and we are so excited to hear your music in the not too distant future, Councilwoman. Please, Councilwoman Paula McCraney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for being here. Just imagine being a slave. But more than that, imagine being freed from slavery. But more than that, imagine 2 years later learning that you were free. 2 years later after the Emancipation Proclamation. So imagine the celebration that took place. Imagine the jubilation. Imagine the memories of how hard our ancestors worked. Imagine, if you will, how important this celebration has to be. Although it was a Galveston, Texas celebration, imagine how they must have felt when the troopers came in and said, "Why are you doing that? You're free." And not really understanding the intensity of that. Actually being afraid that that might not be true. Actually saying, what do I do now if I'm free? Where do I go? What do I do? I don't have a job. I don't have a home. So it wasn't as easy as it sounds to be freed from slavery. But we made it. And when Galveston, Texas got the news, 2 years after everybody else had gotten the news, and they were still struggling to become citizens of this United States of America, they broke out in celebration. So because they celebrated, because they found out the news, we celebrate here in Louisville, Kentucky. Right. It is an amazing opportunity for all of us to embrace the rich, rich history of slavery. It is a dark time in our history, but that's okay. We can embrace that and become better citizens, better people because of the history and the moving forward of celebrating the past and understanding what our future must be. I invite the entire community to come with us. Join the commission in celebrating every day, June 10th through June 19th. And on that June 19th day, when June 19th when it gets here, we want everybody to understand that we will be celebrating throughout this city. We will be jubilant all through this city. We'll be smiling and dancing and rewarding our ancestors with the love and the care and the understanding that we are one. We are one in this community. And we want this celebration not just to be something that comes and goes, but I want you to learn about Juneteenth, understand where it came from and why we're celebrating along with the Texans of the United States of America. We're Louisville, Kentucky, and we're proud to be Louisvillians. We're free, but we have a lot of work to do before we're all feeling the freedom that everyone in these United States of America enjoy. Right. Come celebrate with us, will you? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman McCraney. We are so happy to kick off the celebration and to kick it off here in part at the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage, and also to do that with our partner here, Executive Director Akram Burton. One of this year's exciting events that you heard both Wanda and Councilwoman McCraney talk about is an award-winning one-woman play, The Fannie Lou Hamer Story, about voting rights activist Fannie Lou Hamer. That play will be performed right here at the African American Heritage Center on June 17th. Akram Burton is here to tell us more about this performance filled with powerful storytelling. Akram?
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, everybody, to the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage. I don't need to say much because everything has already been said about the exciting schedule that we have set up. I will say this, though. I really think that this is a real time for us to celebrate Juneteenth, but I want you to remember, and I mentioned this before when we announced a couple years ago that we were going to have this Juneteenth holiday, that this really is a time for us to not only focus on, our enslavement, all right? Because people need to understand 400 years of enslavement disrupted the lives, the families, people coming from Africa. But that 400 years is dwarfed by 9,000 years of history. So this is a time for us, meaning African Americans and people in general, to understand who we were before our enslavement. That we need not to focus so much on the most traumatic part of history that impacted us as a people. It's important for us to recognize that that happened, but it's also important for us to look back and really find out who we were, because this is what is at the root of what we're seeing today in the politics that's going on, the politics of history. And so we need to go back and look at who we were. Specifically, I'm speaking for my people in this community. Part of the ailment, part of the problems that we are facing is because we don't know who we are and where we come from. All right, so I applaud the celebration of Juneteenth. I think it's important for us to celebrate that. But I think it's also important now that we're free, if we're really free, we're free to go back and look at who we really were. We're talking about 8,000 years of history, all right, that we need to understand who we were. So that being said, I want to also say that I would like to encourage everyone out in the community here in Louisville and wherever the television, radio signals go, to please come and celebrate with us. We have a really good program. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about what's happening here, and that is that we're going to have the Fannie Lou Hamer story, which is a play that has one woman play that has taken the country by storm. I've been planning to try to get this here for some time, and finally we were able to get the resources to do it. And working with Wanda, we organized it so that we could do it during Juneteenth. So I welcome you to come out. You will not be disappointed. And also on Sunday at 2 o'clock, we will have a brunch, and we will have the Anderson Banks Quintet, who we had last year, and it was awesome. And I hope you can come out for that. Anyway, I will stop there, and I think maybe there'll be some questions or whatever. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. And finally, one more supporter of all of these amazing festivities, Lean Into Louisville, which has been another big supporter of our Juneteenth event. And we're excited that Lean Into Louisville will host a luncheon featuring guest speaker Jermaine Fowler, the author of the New York Times best-selling book, The Humanity Archive. Our executive director from the Office of Equity is here today, Joy McAtee, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about that luncheon that's going to be held on June 14th. Joy?
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. As the mayor mentioned, my name is Joy McAtee, and I'm the executive director of the Office of Equity for Louisville Metro Government. And my esteemed colleagues and fellow commissioners have pretty much mentioned everything that needs to be said. But I am very excited about the robust schedule of events that we have planned for the entire city from June 10th through the 19th. And our primary focus is centered on educating all folks across the city on the significance of Juneteenth. Of course, we know that there is no secret about the coordinated effort here in Kentucky and across the nation to erase and silence the experience and history of Black Americans in this country and the unpaid labor of Black Americans that has enabled wealth for so many others, but not for us. But despite the dog whistles and the propaganda, this office remains ever committed to the upliftment and advancement of Black people here in Louisville. And we will continue our fearless work of truth-telling at the Lean Into Louisville luncheon at Joe's Pawn Room on June the 14th. And if you understand, of course, anything about the history of that establishment, you'll understand why it's important that we're hosting that event there. I want to thank Donnie Atkins and his entire team for hosting us, and then also looking forward to hosting Jermaine Fowler as our keynote speaker, who is Born and raised here in Louisville, Kentucky, he is a storyteller and self-proclaimed intellectual adventurer who spent his youth seeking knowledge on the shelves of our Louisville Free Public Library. The doors open for that event at 11:30 a.m. We encourage you to tell a friend and to come out to that event, as well as the other events that we'll be hosting for that week. So thank you so much. And of course, for more information on all the wonderful programming happening on that week of celebration, please visit JuneteenthLou.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much to all of our commissioners for making these events happen. Really, it is going to be exciting for these Juneteenth Jubilee celebration events. And so, as Joy just said, encourage everyone to visit JuneteenthLou.com for a complete listing of these educational, exciting, fun, family-friendly Juneteenth events. Thank you all very much. And if there are any questions, I'm sure we all would be happy to answer any that you might have. So much information, we got it right the first time. Thank you all very much.
That's the way to